Welcome to Warpaths of Europe. Before we dive in, make sure to hit that subscribe button, like this video, and leave a comment with your thoughts on Viking survival strategies. Today, we're going to explore how Viking communities manage their resources efficiently to survive harsh winters and maintain social cohesion without collapse, even under pressure. This isn't just history, it's insight into human organization and resilience that can be applied today. Viking societies were structured around longhouses, farms, and small villages where cooperation wasn't optional. It was essential. Resources like food, livestock, tools, and firewood were never left to chance. Communities developed systems to ensure everyone had what they needed, especially during winter months when resources were scarce. One key method was shared storage. Grain, salted fish, and dried meat were stored collectively in central granaries or communal cellars. These weren't private stockpiles, but shared resources managed by local leaders or family heads. This approach reduced waste, discouraged hoarding, and ensured survival for the entire community. For modern enthusiasts, this teaches the importance of centralizing critical supplies and tracking inventory in a group survival scenario. Another strategy was rotational labor and resource contribution. Every adult, regardless of social status, contributed to essential tasks: ploughing fields, fishing, tending livestock, or repairing longhouses. Resources were then distributed according to contribution and need. Unlike modern economies, wealth accumulation wasn't the goal. Sustainability was. If one household produced excess grain, it was stored for the group rather than traded privately. In practical terms, if you're managing a survivalist group today, assigning responsibilities and connecting them directly to shared benefits strengthens group cohesion and prevents resentment or unequal distribution. Vikings also leveraged flexible land use strategies. Meadows, forests, and waterways were considered communal assets. Grazing rights were shared and fishing spots were rotated to prevent overuse. This not only preserved the environment, but guaranteed access for everyone. For modern survivalists or historical reenactors, this translates to rotating resources like hunting grounds, fishing spots, or garden plots, ensuring long-term availability and preventing local depletion. Trade networks played a surprisingly large role in resource sharing. Viking communities were rarely isolated. Even small villages maintained connections with neighbouring settlements. If a region faced poor harvests, communities would trade livestock for grain or timber for tools. This external network acted as a buffer against local shortages. In practical application today, building reliable trade or barter networks, even within a small community, can increase resilience dramatically. Conflict resolution and social accountability were crucial. Resources were carefully monitored, and rules existed for redistribution if someone hoarded or mismanaged supplies. Local assemblies or things enforced these rules. Penalties for misuse weren't just punitive. They ensured the entire community could survive a bad season. For a modern group, setting clear agreements, responsibilities, and consequences around shared resources is essential. Without structure, even the best resource system collapses. The Vikings also employed skill specialization to maximize efficiency. Certain individuals focused on preserving food, while others excelled at smithing or boat repair. Specialization ensured resources were used optimally. For instance, expert fish preservers could convert a day's catch into months of stored protein, benefiting the whole village. Today, this teaches the value of assigning roles based on skill and knowledge, rather than equal workload alone, for effective resource management. So, seasonal planning was another critical element. Communities planned months in advance, storing enough to survive winters that could last, well, half the year. Surpluses were not wasted, but rotated into future stockpiles. This long-term approach prevented famine, and honestly, reduced stress on the group. Modern survivalists can take a page from this playbook by maintaining a staggered inventory of essential items, ensuring redundancy and planning for extended scarcity. Resource sharing extended to energy as well. Longhouses were heated communally, with firewood collected and rationed according to household needs. Cooking was often done in shared spaces to conserve fuel, and food preservation techniques minimized waste. For contemporary application, think of shared kitchens, centralized heating in group shelters, or coordinated fuel management to extend resources efficiently. Finally, Vikings used knowledge as a shared resource. Skills like blacksmithing, herbal medicine and navigation were taught openly within communities, ensuring that the loss of any single individual did not compromise the group. In practical terms, cross-training members of a survivalist team or sharing skill-based knowledge ensures resilience when personnel or resources are suddenly lost. Viking strategies for resource management weren't arbitrary. They were tested systems designed for sustainability, cooperation and survival. They illustrate that shared resources, when managed carefully with rules, accountability, skill specialization and long-term planning, can prevent collapse even under extreme conditions. If you found this insight valuable, make sure to subscribe, like this video, and share it with fellow history enthusiasts. Leave a comment with your thoughts on which Viking strategy you'd apply to modern survival or community living. Understanding these systems gives us not only a window into the past, but practical lessons for today's challenges.